Welcome to season number 2, episode number 1 of the High School Football Roundup podcast. I'm Walter Johnson, and welcome to yet another season of Georgia high school football. And in this debut episode of 2016, I'll do some quick previews of the newest region and the newest classification in the Georgia High School Association, and that of course is Class 7A, and followed by Region 1-6A. So not a whole lot of time to waste, so let's get going here. And we'll start with the defending back-to-back Class 6A state champion Colquitt County Packers out of Moultrie. And during the off season, and Packers head coach Rush Probst was suspended for a headbutt with former kicker Luis Martinez during a state playoff game last year. And the Georgia Professional Standards Commission eventually reinstated Probst and allowed him to coach the entire 2016 season with a reprimand. And the suspension that wasn't, and the reprimand aside, the Packers will enter the 2016 season trying to extend their 30-game winning streak, and they'll open the season on Saturday, August 20th in the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta, facing Mill Creek. And then in another Saturday contest on August 27th, the Packers' home opener will be against American Heritage of Miami, Florida, followed by games against Tucker at home on September 2nd, at Roswell on September 9th, and September 16th. The Packers will host Brookwood out of Gwinnett County, and on September 23rd, they'll travel to Valdosta to face the Wildcats and first-year head coach Alan Rodemaker. And for many, many years, and the game between Colquitt County and Valdosta was a region game, but for the first time in nearly 6 decades, Valdosta won't compete in Georgia's highest classification. They'll stay in 6A instead of playing in Class 7A. And the Packers will finish their 9-region schedule at home against International High Broward from Hollywood, Florida. Then after a bye week, they'll be in Region 1-7A play at home against Camden County. Pay a visit to Tift County in Tifton on October 21st. Then wrap up the regular season on October 28th against Lambs. And speaking of the Vikings, and they'll open the season on August 19th. Against Valdosta in the Wintersville Classic, and that's a road game. That's the Wintersville Classic, and just like in years past with Colquitt and Valdosta and Lowndes, the Wintersville Classic used to be a region game, but with Lowndes ending up in the new 7A. And Valdosta staying in 6A. This will be a non-region contest that will open the season. And on August 26th, they host base out of Florida. Then they go to Gwinnett County on September 2nd, Labor Day weekend against Parkview. On September 9th, they host another Gwinnett County team in Shiloh. Newton pays a visit to the Concrete Palace, better known as Martin Stadium, on September 16th. Hosts Mount Zion in Jonesboro. September 23rd, and the non-region finale will come on September 30th against the Ware County Gators out of Waycross, Georgia. And the region contest at home against Tift County October 14th, Camden County on the 21st of October, and then they wrap up the regular season at Colquitt County, and that could be a good one there. In Tift County, Blue Devils, under second-year head coach Ashley Anders, and the Blue Devils will open the season on the campus of Georgia Southern University, and home to first-year head coach Tyson Summers. They'll face South Effingham. And on August 26th, they host the Cook Hornets, Class AAA team from Adel, Georgia. Then on Labor Day weekend, Thursday, September 1st, the Blue Devils will fly all the way out to Colorado to face a team called Thunder Ridge. Obviously a tough test for Tift County there. And Valdosta will pay a visit to Tifton in Gene Brody Field on September 9th. On September 16th, they host Parkview out of Gwinnett County. And then on September 23rd, and the Blue Devils will hit the road to face the Coffee Trojans from Douglas, Georgia. And then the following week, and the non-region play, I should say, for the Blue Devils will wrap up on September 30th against official Purple Hurricanes, the defending Class AA runner-ups in the state, and Fitzgerald lost to Pace Academy. I mean, that should be, that should be a very interesting matchup there. And the region contests, October 14th at Lowndes, and the Packers from Colquitt County will pay a visit on October 21st, and just a short drive up U.S. Highway 319. And then after a bye week, the Blue Devils will wrap up the regular season on the road on the coast, taking on the Camden County Wildcats. And Tift County started last season at 5-0, only to go 0-5 in Region 1-6A, in the old Region 1-6A, by the way. And speaking of which, how about Region 1-6A? That's going to be a really, really, really tough region this year. And then even with 6A being the second highest classification in Georgia, and it's still going to be a very, very tough region with Coffee, Houston County, Lee County, north side of Warner Robins, pretty old powerhouse team from Middle Georgia, and kind of like the Middle Georgia, north side of Warner Robins is kind of like the Middle Georgia equivalent of Colquitt County, Central Georgia equivalent of Colquitt County. It's in north side of Warner Robins. So, having said that, let's take a look at at the schedule for the Lee County Trojans. And Dean Provisio begins his 9th year as the Lee County head coach, and replacing a lot of talent. And I think he graduated 35 seniors from the team that finished 6-4, and Lee County started 6-0. Finished 6-0 on the season, and then beat Tift County to open Region 1-6A play last year, and then got crushed by Colquitt County and got knocked off at Lowndes, and then things just went downhill from there. And let's go through this year's schedule. And the Trojans will get a very stern test facing Jones County out of Gray, Georgia, Region 4-5A. And the opening, kicking off the Corky Cale Classic. In Macon, Georgia, on the campus of Mercer University on Thursday, August 18th. And on August 26th, the Trojans will be on the road again, this time to take on the Bainbridge Bearcats. And that should be a really tough game for the Trojans, both the Trojans and the Bearcats. And you got a Bainbridge team, and that's looking to make yet another deep playoff run, when going 13-1 overall, and advancing to the state semifinals in 4A, losing to eventual state champion Cartersville. And on September 2nd, the Bearcats will host the Hardaway Hawks out of Columbus. And on September 9th, the Trojans from Leesburg will travel to Americus, Georgia to take on the Americus Sumter Panthers, renewing a rivalry that had been dormant for like the last 6 to 8 years. On September 16th, the Trojans will host the Luella Lions from Henry County to well south of Atlanta. And on September 23rd, the Trojans will face the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets in the renewal of yet another rivalry. And then after a bye week, they'll open Region 1 6A play against the Houston County Bears. And the Bears have one of the top quarterbacks in the state, and Jake Fromm, spelled F-R-O-M-M, Jake Fromm. I think, and for those fans listening for the first time, and Jake Fromm's a fella that you'll hear a lot. You'll hear the name of Jake Fromm a lot this season. And on October 14th, it doesn't get any easier for Lee County, and they travel to Warner Robins to take on north side of Warner Robins, perennial powerhouse. And the Valdosta Wildcats will return to Trojan Field on October 21st, and that was a close game there. Both games have been close the last 2 years. And the Wildcats won 31-25 down at Bazemore Higher Stadium last year. And then, just a couple of years ago in 2014, the Wildcats rallied in the final seconds to edge the Trojans from Leesburg 22-21. And after a bye week, the Trojans will wrap up the regular season on the road against the Trojans from Douglas, Georgia, in the form of Coffee High. Head coach Robbie Porrett. And how about the Valdosta Wildcats under first-year head coach Alan Rodemaker, replacing Rance Gillespie, who resigned earlier this year to join new head coach Tyson Summers at Georgia Southern. And quickly, the Valdosta schedule before calling it a podcast, the debut podcast, August 19th against Lowndes. Woodland Stockbridge on the 26th of August, Wayne County on September 2nd, and Tift County on the 9th of September, September 16th at Thomas County Central, and September 23rd at Colquitt County, August 7th, home to north side of Warner Robins, October 21st at Lee County, and on October 28th, home against Coffee, and then the regular season wraps up for Valdosta at Houston County. And on that note, and that'll end the first edition of the High School Football Roundup podcast, which will be season 2, episode number 1 of 2016. And remember, you can follow the High School Football Roundup podcast online at southwestgeorgianetwork.com, on Twitter at SWGA Network, and on Spreaker at SWGA Network 12345. That's SWGA Network 12345. I'm Walter Johnson, and hope to talk again soon. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.